If you're watching this video, I assume that you have the same idea I did 6 months ago, when I decided to leave the city behind and convert my 3rd gen Toyota 4RUNNER into a streamlined hiking, biking, and camping vehicle. To get a sense of what this was going to require, I watched a somewhat excessive amount of van life related content before I got started. As one would imagine, there is a lot of inspiration and insights to be found here on YouTube. So, to give back to this community, and just offer the internet a little variety, I asked my friend Ben to help me document all the parts and pieces that went into building my beloved snail shell. Like any good DIY SUV camper conversion video, I'll be including an ample amount of amateur editing choices, ukulele background music, stock drone footage, and gratuitous dog references. This will be the first in a series of detailed videos, where I'll later give a more in-depth explanation of my camp kitchen arrangement, food storage and why a Yeti cooler is, in fact, not worth the money, my roof rack mounted awning and why I love it, the DIY solar shower I built, its pros and cons, how I supply power to my devices via solar panel, and lastly, lighting technology that actually looks good. If there's something in particular you want me to go over, now's a good time to drop those questions in the comments below so that I can address them before making future edits. And if you find this video helpful, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. This will help me beat the algorithm and reach other viewers like you and I who want to exchange camper conversion tips. So let's get into it. You ready?
Rolling.
We're rolling? Okay. This is a very large box that I built with my friend Zach for the purpose of being able to live inside my car. We had a few different design constraints that we were working with so that we could accommodate things like my giant dog fitting in there, being able to sleep in the car, being able to camp outside of the car. Those were all things that came into play when coming up with the design. A big inspiration was a few other people's YouTube channels. Solid Woodworks was one of them. Guy out of California who's making stuff specifically for 4Runners and other cars that are custom fit to that. I can make links to those so that way we can give credit where credit's due. But this is the general design. We decided to make it take up half the space of the car with drawers that run the full length of the box and can be pulled completely out on drawer slides, so that the other half of the car there's room for my dog and cargo and whatever miscellaneous things there might be. So there's 2 main drawers and other 2 sliders, as we call them, that fit above the drawers. So all of my cooking stuff is in these 2 pieces here, and these function as countertops. There's just a little hole routed out there, and behind this edge banding, because this is all plywood and then just fancy wood for the edges to make it look nicer, behind this edge banding there's a little lip in there where you can reach and pull that out. So right, these 2 drawers pull completely out like so. I have this cutting board that I got from Restaurant Depot. It was a little larger than this, and I cut it down on a table saw so that it would fit perfectly in this little rabbet, and so it's nice and flush with the drawer. And then inside both of these, there's some dadoed grooves every 6 inches or so, and these dividers can just be pulled in and out to accommodate whatever it was I was going to be transporting. This particular drawer, since it's mostly covered up with this, I have situated it so that the compartment here that's most easily reachable is like my junk drawer. So I have these lights that I use for cooking at night. They're magnetized. They just go up there, so it's really nice to be able to reach them really quickly. I can explain more about the lights in a minute because I think they're one of the singular greatest inventions on planet Earth, actually. So yeah, those are the 2 drawers, and then there's these 2 lids to make this kind of cubby compartment here. They're just held together with a couple simple hinges, and they flip completely open. Inside, if you can get the camera in there, you can see where there are some toggle bolts mounting the box to D-rings that came installed with the car. For a while I had this box in here before I cinched everything down and was just doing some test driving with it, and it was sliding around a lot, so that's a really pretty important piece. And then you can also see some of the other hardware here. Like this piece of wood is really just a face plate. It also helps prevent everything from sliding out if you're parked on a hill or something. And that's just all held together with these L brackets. And then there's also a couple L brackets on the side of the box to support these flaps when something heavy, like a dog, is on top of them. And then there's a little trick going on here using some washers where if you open it from this side, it'll open both flaps. We have these washers attached here. And if you open it from the other side, which you can do if you want, Ben, it'll just open that one piece. The idea being that, you know, maybe I'm just trying to reach something smaller from the passenger doors. The profile of these, initially, we had thought was going to be really tricky and hard to figure out, but turns out it's as simple as using a pencil and a washer on a plank of wood to scribe the profile. I have some video footage of that somewhere that I can share. So that's how we got these to fit the edges. And then almost every corner of this box has a routed edge so that when you're handling it, it feels nicer. All the exterior parts of the box are coated with 2 coats of wipe-on poly, which is really just incredibly easy to do. It's just like a can of poly and a rag at some time. So these slides, which are the same countertops that I use when I'm cooking or something out of the tailgate, will pull this way to become a bed. This is also just 3/4 plywood that we waxed and polyed, and it has sort of like a playing card thin gap in there so that it's snug but still slides. And in order to support them when being used as a bed, there is these 3 pieces, which I just stash behind the seat there, that interlock together like so. And they just rest right there. These come out. And you can see it really will support quite a bit of weight. The box is doing a lot of the work on the back end, of course. And I sleep with my head out this way, so the lighter portion of my body is up here anyway, but it can support quite a bit. Where's LB? We can get him to demonstrate. LB! Good dog. Good dog. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. That's nice. You smell terrible. Okay. So yeah, that's how this gets set up as a bed. I have a folding foam mattress that I'm gonna roll out in here when it's not being used as a bed. It's sitting up in this dog zone and being used as a dog bed, so it's multi-purpose in that way. Blanket, pillows, whatever the fuck you want to sleep on, it's all good. So yeah, this whole thing fits in here. I haven't measured it, but I imagine it's probably about 6 feet long. I'm 5'3", and I fit in here very comfortably, which I can demonstrate with my own body. LB, get in here, bud. Full-size human plus dog. I've slept with 2 people on this mattress pad, and it works swimmingly, so long as you're very willing to cuddle, like this one is. This is what it looks like when I sleep in my car. The whole reason why I built this was really just for scenarios in which I can't sleep in a tent, which would maybe be like really extreme rain, or if I have to sleep in a city or something like that. It's not something that I want to be using all the time. It's really just a backup, but I figured that when I'm doing it, it might as well be comfortable. So I installed a switch inside the tailgate here. So the switch is right here. I got this piece of plastic from some other kind of Toyota vehicle at a pick and pull. That place is really fun. If you've never been to a pick and pull, absolutely go have a nice day there. Just plan on spending the whole day shredding apart cars and feeling like you're in a Mad Max movie or something. The electronics that control this are pretty smart in that you have to hold the button down for a few seconds before it'll do anything, which is nice if your dog is smashing into it or stuff is sliding around in the back of your car or what have you. So yeah, I don't think I can roll it up while it's open though, because that's a problem that if you're doing this modification you're going to run into if you have a 2002 4RUNNER, as I do. Which that's a whole other video in and of itself. I learned how to do this from another YouTuber whose channel I believe is called 4RUNNER, P-H-O, 4RUNNER. And it's a really helpful step-by-step guide. So that's that.
Ready, explain to me the storage hatches.
So when we were putting together the design for this box, one of the main constraints was making sure that there was going to be plenty of room for my giant dog. He's 60 pounds and rather large.
LB.
I wanted him to be able to fully stand in this area of the car. In order to do that and still have additional storage space, we decided to take out the seats, which I have video footage of that and I can use that to explain how that process works. It's pretty simple. You're just like unscrewing nuts and bolts. But I took out the seats so that I could build this platform under here. This beautiful rug I got at the bins for like $2 at one of those sort of by the pound thrift stores. So that just creates like a nice space for him to lay down. Let's get that out of here. So this platform, you can probably see from the side, it's pretty crudely constructed, but it really does the job. A couple planks of wood that were put in key areas following the contours of the car. That make it nice and sturdy. You know, there's not a lot of movement and it holds a 60-pound dog. And then there's these hatches in here that get to the open areas. So that's like where I store all of my mountain biking and dog related stuff. Computer items, electronics, etc. Biking shoes, miscellaneous books, medicine cabinet, just stuff that I want to be able to get to easily but don't want to have to pull out of a box or have to dig for. And then I just recently coated it with this cabinet anti-slip material. Just put it on there with spray adhesive and cut it to size, and that helps prevent the rug from sliding around. Yeah. Alright, there you have it, the complete tour of my 4RUNNER camper conversion. Like I mentioned earlier, I'll be taking requests as to what gear in my setup you'd like me to go over, so let me know in the comments what exactly you want to learn more about. Thanks for watching. Look at the lens. Yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
Action! Yeah, get a big splash.
We just gotta make it as dramatic as possible. Oh, Jesus.
Can Kendall, how do we make?
Here, I have to take this call. Time is limited. Okay.
Kendall, how do we set up the kitchen?
That's a great question. Here I am washing my car.
LB, come on, let's go. Come on, let's go.